What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dacious Digest. The title of today's video is File Them Papers. File them papers. These are going to be stories of people who should probably be getting a divorce or probably ended up getting a divorce because of what happens in the story. I think all of them do have updates, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. My wife left me after she got in shape and now wants to get back together. I am not sure why I am posting this. I probably want some validation as my life has turned upside down recently. I, 32 male, was married to my wife, 33 female, for 4 years, and we had a great marriage so far. I was madly in love with my wife. She fell into depression, mainly due to her job in 2022. I tried to support her in every way and suggested her going to the gym or doing any kind of sports to de-stress. I had my own depression episode before we got married, and what saved me was going to the gym. She agreed to that, and we started going there together. I could not go as frequent as in the past since my workload got heavier after my promotion. However, I tried my best to be there with her. She used to be a bit chubby, which I loved, and after seeing some changes with her body, she started to go there regularly. It also helped her with depression, and she got better. I was really happy to see her get better and livelier. She looked more confident, got more aggressive in bed, and so on. However, after a while, that confidence level started to affect our relationship for the worst. Oh, brother. She started going to parties and going outside to the point where she completely stopped doing her share in the house. That proceeded with me seeing her getting flirty with a guy at a meetup we went to. Girl. Ooh. I communicated my feelings to her and she dismissed these. After several of these, I had her sit down with me and told her that she is riding high on her newly found confidence and emotions right now. I clearly stated she should not make decisions or actions according to that confidence right now. Honestly, that's great advice. She probably is not going to want to hear that from you. If like a friend or a family member had told her that advice, I feel like it would land better. But the fact that it's coming from you, who has a vested interest in the situation, she was probably like, boy, whatever. I know it well. It was one of my worst traits. I used to be extremely emotionally driven in the past. I suggested we go to a marriage counselor and all hell broke loose. She said vile things to me, like how she realized she settled down with me after getting better and she could do much better than me. Oh, girl. She said I am insecure and other things. This woman used to be the sweetest person on the earth, and I was shocked after hearing the things she said to me. Wow. She got a little bit more fit and turned into a mean girl. This sounds to me like maybe, and he doesn't say, but maybe she had issues with like self-confidence and stuff all her life, kind of, had moods up and down, and then all of a sudden she's getting in like this newer version of herself. She's feeling good. She has her physique, like she feels like she wants it. And now she's like, I don't need you. Girl, you better calm down. She filed for divorce the following month, and I did not hear much from her other than some lawyer talks. Our court seeing is scheduled to be next month, and my lawyer told me there is a high chance it could be concluded then. There is not much to share. Similar income, only shared asset is our joint account, similar savings, and no kids. The house is my mom's, so it's out of division. Wow. I accepted my marriage is going to end like that. Last week, she called crying and told me she regrets everything. She apologized over and over again, but I felt disappointed. Not angry, not sad, but just disappointed. She did not text me nor call me even once since the divorce started. I didn't even know where she was since she just left the home. I told her there is no going back now. She has been messaging me non-stop. My family supports my decision, and tells me I should not back down. My in-laws were shocked when they heard about the divorce. They are now telling me to rethink everything. No, because she wasn't thinking when she was doing whatever she had to do. I will 99.9% not back down, but as I said, I'm just looking for validation and maybe wanted to vent. Thank you for reading. OP, I'm telling you, go through with the divorce. You are making the right decision. At her big age of 33, she decided to divorce her husband based on emotions. Most likely was cheating on you, and that's the reason she decided to get a divorce. Probably found something new and shinier and what she thought was better, left you for that, and that didn't work out. So now she's crawling back, trying to get back in your good graces. Don't do it, because someone who can divorce, y'all are married, have been married for 4 years in a great marriage, someone who can divorce so fleetingly, just based off of how they feel at the time. Nothing even really happening in the marriage, nothing really going wrong. You said it was a great marriage. She will 100% do something like this again. 100%. She sounds like the type of person that's gonna get bored, gonna find something else to fill the void or whatever, some years down the line, maybe not even years, and y'all are gonna be in a similar situation again. People need to start treating marriages like marriages. Don't get into a marriage if you plan on divorcing, or really like know what you're getting into if you plan on getting married. It's not just the wedding, it's there's something that goes behind it. Some of the comments here, Minnie Keats says, it didn't work out with the better guy she wanted to leave you for, so now she wants to go back to the safe option. You loved her when she was chubby, and she wanted to throw that away for guys who probably only liked her for her new looks. You're right not to take her back. Exactly. Firecracker 048, this is it exactly. She was talking with someone else and jumped ship to get with a better person. She either got a reality check after the high she was on wore off, or she saw who this person really was and quickly realized what she did. Scarlet Nightingale said, my cousin's ex-wife did this. She was always a bit chubby as well, but pretty. My cousin treated her well and gave her whatever she wanted. Maybe 15 or so years into their marriage, she decided to get into shape again. It was quickly followed by surprise divorce papers, her leaving him for another guy, and then coming back later and wanting to get back together. That's crazy. 15 years into a marriage and you leave somebody just because now you think you out of their league, you done got in shape, and then you want to come crawling back. Listen, if there's anything I learned in my life, it's that every person has problems. So if there's, whoever you're with, there's tiny little problems or whatever happening, but they can be fixed or they can be lived with. Don't turn those molehills into mountains, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, if you leave just because of something small, you will regret it when you get back out. There ain't nothing out there right now. The dating climate is trash. There is toilet water in the pool of dating right now. You don't want it. If you are watching this and you are in a relatively healthy relationship and for some reason you just feel like getting out, now this is not for the people who are in harmful situations. You need to leave. But for the others, just stick it out. Just see what you can do to try to make it work. See if there's some counseling. Maybe you can read some books. Just try to, I'm telling you, you're going to end up like OP's wife. Leaving, setting your sights on better things or what you perceive to be better things, and running back when you really see what's out there. It ain't nothing out there. Select Recognition 89 said, one of my buddies told me that his dad would tell him, you know why the grass is greener on the other side? Because you're not over there messing it up. That's funny. And someone else said the grass is greener where you water it. That's very true. So I'll read his update. Update, my wife left me after she got in shape and now wants to get back together. We are officially divorced. There was not much to share, so it went smooth as a butter, according to my lawyer. I've never talked to her other than through lawyers as much as she wanted me to. She tried to talk to me one-on-one and get closure, but I just don't want that. It's not that I do not care why she left me, what she did during that time. I just don't want to know. I've been living without her for months now. At first, it was difficult and I cried all night, some days, but after a few months, I feel like I came to accept everything. That's so sad, man. She ruined a good relationship for no reason. What peace will it give to learn what and why when I already accept everything other than hurting me? For once, I want to prioritize my peace of mind in this whole process. My parents and friends are here to support me, and I'm glad that I have such a great support circle. As for what my plans are, renovating my office room in the house, getting back to the gym, and living my best life. I've been wanting to renovate my office room for a while now, and that's what I'll start with. I started hitting the gym at the same time. I believe my body is good, but I have some extra fat. Dieting proved itself difficult because I am a tiramisu addict. For the dating part, I uploaded a few apps and tried out how I'm doing. I got a decent number of matches, but realized I do not feel like doing it right now. I'll focus on my own hobbies, well-being, and wants for now. Thank you all for the support and help in the last post. She messed around and found out. That is just ruined a good marriage for no reason. I hope she's happy. I hope it was worth it. Doesn't sound like it was. All right, next post. Shout out to Best of Reddit updates because the actual original posts are edited, like the OP edited it and like took everything out, but they were able to get all the information before that happened. So, am I the a-hole for suspecting my wife of doing something awful at her friend's bachelorette week in Mexico? She spent virtually zero money and took no pictures. I don't know. Let me not judge too quickly. I am in the middle of probably the biggest crisis of my adult life, and I can barely think, so I apologize in advance if this comes across as really weird or rambly. My wife went to Mexico last week for a friend's bachelorette party, and aside from the plane ticket, the hotel, and the first day's food and drinks, she didn't spend a penny all week. I mean, on the credit card, it's as clear as day that on Monday up until about 9 p.m. Wait, why is he so into her credit card transactions like this? You all up in her credit card transactions to the point where you can see at what point she stopped using her credit card. That's weird. Okay, so they say, on the credit card, it's as clear as day that on Monday up until about 9 p.m., she was buying dinner, stuff at the hotel shop, drinks at the bar, souvenirs, and then at 9 p.m., she didn't spend another cent the entire week until she was at her layover airport in Dallas. She says it's because her friend took over and paid for everything. I guess this is plausible, but it's still giving me a funny feeling. I don't know. It's giving me a funny feeling that you even know this information. Like, why do you know that? What is worse is that my wife is a person who posts her entire life on Instagram and TikTok. If she does anything from getting a latte to picking the kids up at school, she will post it either as a picture or as a story. The last thing she posted on TikTok was that trend of people jumping into their vacation from the airport, and after that, her social media is blank. I was kind of keeping an eye on it because I was excited for her to go on the trip, and again, I guess it's plausible, but it gives me a funny feeling. When she got home, I said I can't wait to see all the pictures she took, and she really blew me off and said that she just didn't feel like taking pictures that week. She has also been incredibly distant, and last night she said she just felt like sleeping on the couch because the AC hits better. This is 100% true, but I swear I heard her talking on the phone in the middle of the night. When I got up to check on her, I accidentally tripped over the dog and made a huge racket, So when I got downstairs, she appeared to be asleep. I brought all of this up this morning and said I'm not accusing her of anything, but all this put together is making me feel uneasy. I wasn't trying to bait her or fight with her, just get my feelings on the table. She said, "You are a major freaking a-hole for bringing this up on my first day back at work." I said I wasn't trying to pry, just communicating with her, and she said, "Your communication is prying, and I'm not discussing this with you ever again." She then took the kids to summer camp and left. Am I the a-hole? Something is going on here on both sides. You with your overbearing, micromanaging, looking all into her credit card transaction. Oh, you didn't spend any money in a whole week. That's weird. But her with her reaction of, it is, the little things separately aren't that big of a deal to me, but everything added up does kind of seem a little suspicious, especially if she's the type of person who always posts on social media and she goes on this trip and posts nothing, and then she doesn't have any pictures to show, and then she's starting to sleep on the couch after she comes back from a week-long vacation. And then when you kind of like say something to her about it, which maybe it was a way that you said it, I don't know, you didn't say, but when you say something to her about it, then she's like, "I'm not answering this ever again." And it seemingly she gets like kind of guilty, I guess, with her response. I don't know. Something is going on here though. So just some of the comments from the first post. Which king of Bryn Mawr, not the a-hole. There's a lot of missing information here. But the fact that she won't discuss her vacation with you and even considers it prying when you ask about it is very strange. Sleeping on the couch is kind of the nail in the coffin for me. Right. 23 Mateo 16, this right here. If for whatever reason I didn't go on vacation with my significant other, I'm definitely in contact the whole time and would be super happy to talk about everything when I got back. What I saw, who I met, experiences, and everything. I see a lot of red flags as well. Right. Man Chapson said, American fiance went home to America for family reasons for a month. I didn't go. I wasn't actually invited. Instead, I took time off to work on doing a huge garden renovation project so it would be ready when she got back. I messaged her every day, sent photos of what I was doing, asked to speak to her on the phone, not because I was suspicious, but that is normal when couples are apart. She basically went AWOL. Days without messaging me. Days? And this is your fiance? Then a splurge of a few messages, then nothing. I didn't speak to her for 2 weeks, and then it was a 2-minute convo, which she cut short and basically hung up on me. Suddenly, in the 3rd week, her attitude changed. Messaging constantly, spoke nearly every day. Then I received what I'll call intimate photos of her and another guy. Turns out she had prearranged to meet up with an ex, telling him she was single, and he found out she wasn't. There is loads more to it, but that's the guts. Man, that's a commenter. That's not the OP, but geez. Yeah, her behavior is sounding real sketchy and suspicious. Old Willingness 3622 said, check her friends' social media. I'm sure you will find stuff and look at their text messages. OP said, dang it, I should have included that. Her friend posted on social media up until about the 3rd day, but there were no pics or tags of my wife, and then that friend deleted everything from a couple of days leading up to the trip. The bride-to-be rarely posts, so it's not surprising that she doesn't have much. Yeah, something is sounding suspicious here. Ludicrously Capacious said, that's really, really odd. Something happened on that trip. It may not even be cut and dry cheating, but something really weird had to have happened. And so here's an update from a few hours after he posted. Edit. So I realized that her texts probably synced to her iPad, so I just checked. It took me a while to figure out the passcode, but I did, and there was an iMessage at 9:15 the night she got to the resort from a number with no contact info that said, okay, I'll meet you in the lobby. Is the app you said Signal? I looked up Signal and it's kind of like WhatsApp. The iPad doesn't have Signal on it. I mean, that could also be, man, sis. I mean, WhatsApp is widely used like in other countries because it's like a free texting app or whatever. But it can also come off as suspicious because WhatsApp has like features where you can have like private messaging, you can have like Face ID even to get into the messages, you can have disappearing messages. Like there's ways to be sneaky on WhatsApp. So, okay, edit 2. If you have been following my comments, you've seen that my sister is coming over and she's an insane internet sleuth and is relentless when it comes to this cheating stuff. She also scares me a bit, so I'm hoping this isn't a mistake. I'm going to probably stop responding for a while so we can talk and she can do her thing. I am numb, but she can do this. Thanks to everyone and the nice comments and the reality check. It's not looking good. Oh, wait a minute. Edit 3. She cheated. I knew it. Edit 3. She cheated. My sister was able to get lots of info from the real estate guy, and my wife denied it at first, but then admitted. What real estate guy? Wait a minute. My wife denied it at first, but then admitted it. Sorry it took so long to update, but I'm numb. I have literally zero idea what to do now. Wait a minute. What real estate guy? Okay, some of the comments that were sourced. Armageddon 121. She should do this professionally. Private investigator, basically. Opie said, I love my little sister to death, and obviously her skills and tenacity were invaluable here, but I don't think the world is ready for how vicious she can be. C614 said, so what did little sis find out in the past 24 hours? You really haven't given any kind of update. And OP said, my sister had a burner phone and texted him as my wife that her husband, me, was suspicious, so she had a new phone and for him to contact her on Signal there if he wanted to stay in touch. So I'm assuming that one, lonely text message that came through was the guy. The one that said, I'll meet you in the lobby, was some real estate guy. Literally within seconds, he sent a Signal message, and through the course of an hour or so, my sister, again pretending to be my wife, was able to get him to reminisce about the week they had. He sent pics of them together in a bar, them on the beach together, etc. We took pics of the Signal messages with another phone, so there is 100% smoking gun evidence of her with the guy and him saying how much fun they had. Oh man, I'm sorry, OP. So did she know him before? There's no way she just went to Mexico in one day, unless that is what happened, but I'm just, okay. Mr. Bill X said, really gross that a couple dinners and drinks was all it took. Sorry, brother. Okay, so maybe she didn't know him before. Jeez. Opie said, what I can't get over is how sleazy the guy is. He's not attractive. He's overweight. His real estate website reads like some get-rich-quick scheme. He literally looks like Tony Soprano with 30 extra pounds and greasier hair. I'm ripping myself up because I just don't get it. I probably make more money than he does. Combined, we certainly do. So what did he have that was worth it? Is it that I spent our money on maxing out retirement accounts and college savings and not flashy BS like he obviously does? I mean, I could understand if she was attracted to a hippie rock climber surfer dude with rock hard abs, but this guy makes it so much worse. I feel like such a failure. How old are these people? It doesn't say. Sounds to me like wife was trying to get her a little sugar daddy. The guy came along flaunting his little real estate business or whatever, making it seem like he was successful. I don't know if he is or not, but it sounds like she kind of got caught up in the facade, figuring she gonna live this better, more lavish life. I don't know. Initial Training 320 said, I'd also be curious to know how your sister found out. Did she pretend to be your wife on a call or text? I was sure you were going to have trouble figuring it out, so good for you and your sister. And Opie said, I'm sorry, I've had well over 1,000 questions asking for clarification. If you are asking how we found out who the guy was, it went like this. I logged into my wife's iPad and there was a single message from an unknown number where my wife said she would meet him in the lobby and asking what the Signal app was. I Googled that number and it's a real estate agent's number who works in South Florida. I found his Instagram and was able to verify that he was in fact in Mexico this past week, supposedly on a golf trip with his friends. So she ain't even know the guy beforehand. Some random guy you met on a trip. You risked it all. For what? Update a few hours later. Edit 4, for people looking up our personal stuff, we don't live in Lubbock, nor does my wife work for the Lubbock school system. Why would anybody try to look up their personal stuff? That's crazy. We grew up in the area and went to college there, but have long since moved to another community. Please don't try to research this, as you may hurt someone who is totally not involved. I'm getting lots of advice to delete this, and I don't want to, but I may have to. Oh, I'm sorry for reading it on YouTube, OP. Edit 5, I know people really want updates, and we've been talking, arguing, screaming, threatening all day long. I'm more confused than I was this morning, that's for sure. But I'm also confused, exhausted, sad, upset, nervous, and I don't know what to do. I did make a preliminary appointment with a family law attorney tomorrow to talk about protecting assets and how to navigate the legal way ahead, regardless of what I choose to do. I will say that there's a subreddit that this was cross-posted to, and it may be the most toxic group of people I've ever seen online, and I feel really bad for those people. As for the privacy issues, no one has figured out who we are. That's not a challenge, by the way. I'm very tired, and I doubt people are still invested, but if there's still interest, I can update either on this post or a new one in a few days. I'm really hoping to sleep tonight. My sister still has the kids, and they are having a blast and went to the lake with her boyfriend's family today, so I'm glad they are in good hands. And they have kids too? Man. Not range 3120. I'm sorry, OP. Definitely not the a-hole. I know you have a lot to sort through right now, emotionally and logistically, but there are a lot of people in your corner. Also, there is no excuse for cheating. Do not let her justify, manipulate, gaslight you into believing anything else. Get your divorce and some therapy. Everything else will get worse, but it will get better too. Good luck. Opie said, in one of her more lucid moments today, I was begging her to tell me why she chose a guy who weighs 300 pounds with greasy hair on his fourth marriage with at least 6 kids. And she flat out told me he made her feel special. I guess I don't know women at all, because I've spent my entire life trying to not be that guy and have my wife set up for retirement, my kids set up for college. We have a nice second home on the lake. I took risks to move from engineering to management in my company so I could provide our family with everything. I work late hours, I love my kids, and coach Little League and volleyball and swimming, even though I can barely doggy paddle. I love her parents and paid for them to go to Hawaii with us last year, and freaking overweight Tony Soprano with his rented Ferrari on his awful Florida real estate site made her feel special, and I'm looking at the prospect of legitimately not seeing my kids on Christmas morning ever again. I'm sorry, OP. I can hear the anger. I can feel the anger through these words. I'm sorry, bruh. I'm so sorry, man. I guess, and this is not excusing any of her actions whatsoever, just from what I've read from this whole thing, OP does seem a little bit overbearing maybe, and maybe like a stickler for a lot of things. He mentioned the retirement account multiple times. He seems like he's really like set on, setting the future, setting them up for the future, getting the college funds, putting money into this and that, properties and doing, but like maybe he's not so much into the right now as much. And maybe that's something that the wife felt was missing. Like, yeah, it's okay to have that stability and set our life up for the future, but like we can also have the balance of enjoying life right now. That's just, I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying that could be, just from what I'm reading, something that happened. And again, not excusing her actions whatsoever, but in that mind state, she might have fell victim to someone who was kind of enjoying life in the right now and was like, oh, this is nice. Like, this is what life really could be like. Maybe I want some of this. And then she, that kind of sounds like there was already some tension and breakdown in the marriage before this even happened. Krubins said, does your wife even care that she just ruined her entire family? OP, in 1 minute, she's devastated and begging me not to do anything rash and asking me to think of what the kids will do being raised in a split household. And in the next, she's utterly unapologetic and telling me I caused all of this. I'm all over the place emotionally too, so I get it, but it's a little hard to hear that I caused this. Wow, that kind of like plays into what I just said. Now, again, she ain't got no excuse, but as far as the context of the situation, I think maybe she is legitimately thinking like that. Comment ad 5586. After reading your comments, isn't it imperative that you inform the sleazeball's wife that she has a husband who cheats? I would run that idea past your sister and see what she thinks. Opie said, it will definitely happen, but I need to talk to the lawyer tomorrow first. Oh man, I totally skipped that part. The fact that the guy got a wife. So they both married, messing around. They said he on his 4th marriage. 6 kids, child. I think if I hadn't asked my sister to babysit yesterday and today, this would now be a viral cheater story all over TikTok with the pics to prove it. And then initial training 320. I hope there were no graphic photos that would make her famous in South Florida. At least I hope that you didn't have to see any. Opie said, no, nothing graphic, just like selfies taken at the bar with arms around each other, them sitting on the beach in lounge chairs, sort of snuggled up. There's a few pics where he paid for her to do parasailing and riding ATVs. There's enough where she can't deny she was spending time with him, but nothing graphic enough that would make me want to blow my brains out. Yeah, it sounds like the guy was spoiling her and spending money on her, and that's pretty much what got her, but dang. Let me see if he has anything else. I think his account is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, the post got removed. Dang it. Dang, he had a post on surviving infidelity that got removed by the moderators. What is it? Let me see if I can find it. Hopefully somebody grabbed it. Let me try to Google. I'm putting on my detective hat, guys. We're gonna find this update. Ha! Is this it? Yes! Success! I feel so proud of myself. We got a new update to this. Okay, he has another post that got deleted, but Detective Daisha was on the case and I was able to find it. Is there a tit for tat while surviving infidelity? I cheated on my wife when we were 15. The plot thickens. What, OP? She just had a vacation affair, but now we are 32 with kids. Part of me feels like I'm reaching for any reason to forgive her. Bruh. Wow. Okay. Hello. My posts from the last 2 weeks have gained quite a bit of traction on the Am I the A-hole pages, and several people have advised me to post here. Long story short is my wife went on a trip to Mexico and had a mostly emotional affair, but it got physical at least once. It certainly would have been more, but the guy had pretty severe health issues. That's not funny. That's not funny. I am beside myself with anger and embarrassment, but as the days have gone on, I am thinking that I can't live without her. We have been together since we were 13. We have kids. I have a side business with her dad. I'm great friends with her brother, and my family loves her like a daughter. We are scheduled to bring the divorce mediation next week while also doing co-parent counseling, so the process is moving forward. Part of me feels like I'm grasping at straws to forgive her, but part of me feels like she has shown me a lot of grace and forgiveness, and I should give her the same chances she gave me. When we were 15, I cheated on her while I was at a baseball camp. Not only did I cheat on her, I dumped her when I got home and explicitly told her it was her fault I cheated because the girl wasn't a good girl Christian, and then I dated other girls that school year and rubbed her nose in it at every opportunity. It wasn't until she started dating that I realized how sorry I was and begged her to take me back. In 17 years, she's never held my behavior against me except for some light ribbing now that we are older. She forgave me unequivocally, and I vowed I would never hurt her like that again, and I truly haven't. But I can admit, cheating as a immature 15-year-old guy is a far cry from cheating as a 32-year-old mother of two. She had so much more to lose and so many more people who would be hurt by her actions, but she loved me enough to forgive me even though it must have crushed her. I have to admit, there's a huge part of me that feels I owe her a second chance because she gave me one, even though the circumstances are so much different. I'm not even really asking if I should or should not forgive her. Rather, are these emotions normal? Am I rationalizing something that should not be rationalized? Listen, OP, you gotta do what's best for your mental health. If you are grasping at any reason to try and forgive her, that tells me you're obviously hurt at this situation, but you feel like you still want to make it work. It almost sounds like you want to leave just because you feel like that's what you think you should do, but deep down, like, you don't really want to leave. So, like, maybe y'all could try to do some counseling. I've heard people come back from worse in a marriage, but I feel like if you at least try the counseling and then realize that it really is not going to work and you really do need to move on, then at least you won't have any regrets. At least you won't have any like, dang, I should have tried harder. Dang, I should have taken her back. You know, so I say go the counseling route. Like, just everybody take a breath. Everybody calm down. Let's just try to see what we can do to get through this. Then if that doesn't work, let's just go ahead and file them papers. But it sounds like you're having a real internal struggle over this, and I would hate for you to like make a decision that you regret. Either way, like staying or leaving, either way. But that's just my opinion. Bella Rose, 36, said, "It's only been a few weeks, OP, and you are still working through a lot of different emotions, which is okay. I know Redditors are quick to want cheaters to burn at the stake, take them to the cleaners, and blast them all over social media, but not everyone needs to do this if they don't want to. I think people need to be more understanding and allow you to come to your own conclusions with some guidance and words of wisdom, but ultimately, it's your decision. And if you're not ready to make anything final next week, then that's okay. Regardless, what you did as a 15-year-old boy is different than what your wife did, although it sounds like you feel some guilt from this. I understand that you and your wife have known each other since you were teenagers and have a lot of history, so it's normal to hold on to this. Would you be ready and willing to sit and talk to your wife about what happened, as I know she wanted to share everything with you, but you weren't ready? If not, that's okay. If and when you're ready, you can let her know. Did you read the story on reconciliation that another poster sent you? The wife, cheater, kept a journal of everything that happened and then shared it with her husband, who agreed to read it. They then worked through some difficult questions and answers on Thursday night, a night they chose to be honest with one another. However, it took time to get there. I think after a year, they were intimate again and went on to have 2 other children who are adults and have children of their own. Unfortunately, the wife passed about a year ago from colon cancer, but her husband still loved her. Dang, that's sad. I understand that this is not for everyone. I believe someone said the statistic of reconciliation is 1%, and this couple was a part of this number. They both worked at it, and the wife showed remorse. She did whatever she had to do to reconcile with her husband. They also continued the Thursday night meetings to help discuss and resolve issues in their marriage and to communicate openly. I think Reddit helps you to get your feelings out and receive a different perspective from other people, which can help, but don't let that be your only guide. Maybe you can journal privately and flesh out your thoughts and feelings on paper so that these thoughts are not stuck in your head. I think eventually your thoughts will become a little clearer and you can move forward from there, knowing what necessary steps you want to take. I think that pretty much sums it up. She basically, pretty much saying what I said. Obviously, the cheating at 15 years old is not the same as cheating at 32. But at the end of the day, if you want to try to work it out, work it out. If you want to get a divorce, get a divorce. But take some time to really decide on what you want to do and move forward from there. If y'all want to read any of the other comments, I'll include the link to that update in the description. And we have one more story here. Quick trigger warning for this story. There is mention of racism, harm against minors, and also self-deletion. My 30 male mother-in-law, 55 female, wants to move in with us over my objections. How do I convince my wife not to let her in? I met my wife, 31 female, 10 years ago. We dated for 3 years and then got married. She's honestly the sweetheart of my life, and she's beautiful, intelligent, and is career-oriented. She cares about everything. Her mother is a different story. She had been nothing but vile towards me ever since we started dating. She would complain about how I'm white instead of Asian like her daughter and would try to convince my wife to leave her. My wife doesn't want to cut off ties with her, and that causes some conflicts. We have a 5-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, and my mother-in-law would be quite rude to them. Oh, hell no. Oh, you're not finna be rude to my kids. Oh, I don't even want kids, but you're not finna be rude to my imaginary not to be kids. Her visits ended a year ago when I caught her pinching my daughter. Child, no, you lying. I kicked my mother-in-law out, but my wife was furious that I didn't consult with her. This argument led to her leaving me for a week to stay with her. When she finally talked to me, I told her that while she is free to have a relationship with her mother, I don't want one, and neither should the kids with the mother-in-law, and my wife reluctantly agreed. Fast forward to 2 days ago, my mother-in-law lost her job and she's about to lose her home. My wife is begging for me to let her apologize to me and have her move here for a while, but I remain concerned that she will try to hurt our kids. My wife won't listen to me though, and is demanding that she moves in. We haven't talked much since that argument. No. She ain't got nobody else she can stay with. No, absolutely, positively no. The answer is no. Red Tilfon said, quote, "Your mother will never live with us. She might live with you, but not with us. Say it, mean it." Opie said her response, "If you don't help my mom, I may not be around on earth to help you." What? Is a mother threatening violence? What's going on? What's she mean by that? Background Bread 707, your wife doesn't sound like such a sweetheart after all. It sounds like she takes after her mother a little more than you thought. Threatening self-deletion is one of the most evil manipulation tactics. Oh, so that's what she meant. That's crazy. OP, you gotta get out of there. You gotta go get some evidence of the harm that mother-in-law did against your kids. Try to get as much custody as you can to get them away from your wife. as this person said, she don't sound like much of a sweetheart. The fact that you can be so content with someone who is borderline, I mean, not even borderline, harmful to your children, rude to your own husband, pretty much racist to your own husband, and you're okay with that? Like, OP, come on. NY Chalky 14 said, so the first argument was about not consulting your wife, and now your wife is doing the same thing. I'd sit down to your wife and explain your concerns calmly. Explain how you haven't had a good relationship with her and how she has disrespected you in the past. Explain how you're concerned that she will mistreat the children, and then ask if there are other family members that can take her in. Period. Opie said, I would normally consult my wife, but I was angry when I saw my mother-in-law hurting my daughter, and I had a zero tolerance policy on harm. Facts, because what? I brought up my concerns and she still thinks she's changed. She has no other family members. Her father died a long time ago. She's the only sibling and she doesn't have aunts or uncles. I did offer a cheaper apartment, but my wife won't listen to me on that. The apartment is a great idea. Offer her a cheap, and she said she said this was only supposed to be temporary, right? So I'll get her a little 6-month lease until she can start working again, and she can stay there because she's not coming into the house. NY Chalky 14 said, what is the backup plan if you let her move in and then catch her harming your kids? Will your wife ignore it and let her stay no matter what? Opie said, I'm not letting her move in. She's honestly become so focused on her moving in that she told me she would rather self-delete than turn her away. This is crazy. NY Chalky said, that is a major red flag. Either she's serious and needs mental health help, or she's using self-harm as a manipulation tactic. Opie said, I even told her to stop talking about self-deletion, but she says she can't stand to see her mother out there alone. And her mother really did a number on her growing up. Sounds like a narcissistic parent. Huntress 145, then she can go live with her mother and you can stay with the kids and divorce her. This is a hard line, but it needs to be taken because your children's safety is at risk. If your wife is more concerned about her harmful adult mother than her children, she made her choice and you need to make yours, and it needs to be your children, period. Edit to add, also, if she keeps threatening self-deletion to manipulate you, take her to the hospital. Don't play her game. It's time to rethink your marriage with her. Exactly. Opie said, I will never let her mother in. I'm trying to save this marriage without her divorcing or self-deleting. OP, I hate to break it to you, and I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. There is no saving this marriage at this point. Honestly, the marriage was gone long before this. When her mother was in there pinching your children, before you even got married, she was rude and racist to you. The marriage was over before it started. Huntress 145 said, I understand that. Unfortunately, if she's not willing to understand that, you may have to divorce her for the sake of your children. Update 1 day later, Opie said, thank you guys for helping me out. I sent the kids over to my sister's house for the night as I did not want them to witness a fight. I again told my wife that her mom can't stay with us and that our son in particular trembles around her. Do you hear this? Lady, like, why are you not advocating for this is pissing me off. Why are you so worried about your mother that you're not advocating for your own damn children? Your children are literally scared of her. She's physically harmed them before. And you're talking about self-deleting because I just don't want her to see her alone. I need to calm down. This is angering me. She again threatened self-deletion, and that's when I called 911. She then went hysterical and tried to grab a knife, but I was thankfully able to stop her from harming herself. She's currently on a 72-hour hold, and I will be meeting with a lawyer about custody as I have evidence from her text and security footage. Thank you. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Evidence that you can give to a lawyer. It's so dang painful, and I now have to explain to our kids about why I am divorcing her. I'm sorry, OP. That's so sad. I mean, all you can do is move forward at this point. We can all say about the red flags, whatever that was there before. All you can do is move forward. At this point, your kids' safety and well-being is paramount. And so whatever you got to do to make sure that that is in order is what you got to do. Does he have any other updates? I'm not finding anything additional, so I'm guessing that is the last update. His account is suspended now, unfortunately, but I am so glad they got her into the hospital. She obviously needs help, a lot of it. And he got the kids away from that situation. He has, the evidence and stuff that he needs to get the custody, and that's great. Let me read this palate cleanser. I feel like we need this right now. So just double check, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll go into this last read for the video. Driveway blocking revenge. So we bought a house with a fourplex next door. We thought we had done our homework, drove by, walked through the neighborhood as much as we felt comfortable with without looking like stalkers. We drive by the night before closing, and both ends of the driveway are suddenly blocked in by cars we hadn't noticed the umpteen times we had checked on our new house, and its tenants from the fourplex next door. Easily 1/3 of their vehicle is blocking one side of our very small driveway. Cue months of not figuring out who the landlord is. We leave notes on the cars, ask the driveway blockers nicely, take pictures, leave more notes. They even start throwing the notes in our driveway and putting them back on our car. I put up signs on our property, and those get written on with Sharpie and ripped down. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare. It's 2 separate tenants that are doing this. When I confront one tenant about damaging my signs, the response is, "What are you gonna do about it?" I finally look the property owners up and call them. They eventually called me back and give me the property manager's info. My pictures, combined with 10 or so emails, calls, video camera footage, and a year later, and both tenants get evicted. We won. They're gone, being a menace to new neighbors, both with evictions on their record for not following rules on the lease. Ooh-wee. Revenge is so sweet. That's great. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next video.